Let me quickly talk to you about TransUnion inquiry removal, and I want to really give you a few hacks, things you need to do real fast to make sure that you are actually removing inquiries from your TransUnion credit report. Okay, so here's an overview I want you to pay attention to. So the first thing is, let's go back to the origins, if you will. I mean, why did you get an inquiry on your TransUnion credit report in the first place? I mean, there's a lot of questions that folks ask, and the thing is, when we talk about TransUnion inquiries or Experian inquiries or Equifax inquiries, of course, we're speaking about what? Soft pulls and hard pulls, right? So a soft pull or a soft inquiry will often show up if you pull your own credit report using, let's say, a monitoring service, or you get it directly from the credit reporting agency. So it's one of those things where sometimes when you have let's say a company you already have a business relationship with, will pull your report before they make a marketing offer to you. I mean, so this could result in a soft inquiry. And if a potential employer checks your credit when you apply for a job, there will also be a soft inquiry. So when we talk about soft inquiries, we are speaking about what? We are speaking about pulls that do not impact your credit score, and they can stay on your credit report for 2 years, but they have no impact. So that's really important to really understand. Now, however, when we talk about hard pulls, those happen when you are actively trying to get credit through an application process. So credit cards, mortgages, or car loans will trigger a hard inquiry. And the thing is, because hard inquiries show that you are potentially looking for credit, for new credit. That is, they have an impact on your credit score. And how much of an impact those pulls will have on your TransUnion credit score, on your Equifax credit score, that will depend on the age of your score. I mean, the age of your account, but also the nature of the credit that you are trying to get. So that's really important. And hard inquiries usually have less influence on your score than other categories like payment history and credit utilization. Now, there are inquiries that you may not know about, and those may be inquiries that you forgot about or that were the result of identity theft. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. So when we talk about TransUnion inquiry removal, we are speaking about several categories of account data, right? So you have personal info. You have, so let's first start with personal info. I mean, you have personal info, you have accounts, you have collections, and then you have also, in some cases, student loans. But I want to start with personal info. So when I talk about personal info, I'm talking about things like phone number, address, employer, name, date of birth, social security number. And so, but the thing is that there is information you can update online, and there is information that must be updated by mail. So TransUnion wants you to contact them directly to update some information. So what can you update online directly? I mean, what can you do yourself? You can delete a phone number. You can delete an old address. You can delete an employer. Okay, let's say there was a mistake, or you're no longer working there, and you want them to update. You want TransUnion to update their records. Totally possible. You can actually do it yourself. Not a problem. So that's about information you can update online, according to TransUnion. Again, we're still talking about TransUnion inquiry removal. Now, there is information that must be updated by mail. For instance, your name. If you want them to update your name, maybe you got married, or there was a mistake in your name before, so you got to show them. You got to show something official that backs up the new data, the new info that you are actually sharing, right? Things about your date of birth. So you need to show an official birth certificate. If you want them to update your social security number, you got to show some kind of data. And if you want them to actually add a new address, you have to show data that really shows that, hey, listen, this is where I am at right now. So it can be a utility bill, it can be an insurance policy, So it has to be official, right? It has to be official. and they will take care of it, not a problem. Plus, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about TransUnion inquiry removal. So the second category of data that you can actually update when it comes to TransUnion inquiry removal, we are speaking about accounts. So basically, you are like, if you basically want to update accounts or you want to dispute things, this is totally possible, not a problem. Now, your TransUnion credit report lists your open and closed accounts and their balances. So if you paid off an account balance, you may not see it reflected in your credit report until your next monthly statements. This is because reports are updated when lenders provide new information to credit reporting agencies and when consumer disputes and lender investigations are complete. Now, TransUnion has a protocol that actually goes through 30 to 45 days for investigations. So they have to go through their own internal procedure before answering you or before updating their data, and also removing inquiries from your TransUnion credit score or credit report. So even if you close an account, it will continue to appear on your report for 7 to 10 years. So that's really totally possible. Now, the thing is that if you see something that you believe is inaccurate on one of your accounts on your TransUnion credit report, you can fix it. Okay. Now, mind you, each account on your TransUnion credit report provides details such as open date, balance, and payment status. And the thing is, you can dispute any of the details listed if they are incorrect. You cannot dispute that an account still appears on your credit report after it's closed, right? There's also another scenario that can really help you in terms of TransUnion inquiry removal. Let's say you paid off a balance, and the account is still showing a balance on your credit report. The thing is that credit reports updates when lenders provide new information to credit reporting agencies, including TransUnion. So you may not see changes reflected immediately in your TransUnion report. Some lenders send updates more frequently than others, but it usually happens once a month. So just keep that in mind. Once a month, that's where you will see some change. And so how long do closed accounts stay on your TransUnion report? Well, closing an account doesn't remove the account from your TransUnion credit report immediately. An account that was in good standing with a history of on-time payments when it was closed will stay on your report for up to 10 years. And that can really help your TransUnion credit score. Think about it. Accounts with negative information may stay on your report for up to 7 years. So that's really what it is. Let's talk about collections. So this is another category of inquiries you can remove from your TransUnion TransUnion report. So if you have an account in collections, you're not alone. Unfortunately, you have 89 to 100 million U.S. consumers do have the same scenario that you're having. So when we talk about disputes and collections, we are speaking about a very specific sort of scenario, right? If you see an account in collections on your credit report, it means what? It can be several things. Collections can come from the original creditor or a third-party agency that's contracted by that creditor. If you don't recognize the account, contact the company listed on your credit report. And even if you paid off a collections account, it will appear on your report for up to 7 years. And an exception to this is the medical debt, which is really removed from your credit report when paid in full. So this is something you just got to keep that in mind, okay? So paid medical debt does not appear on your credit reports, including TransUnion credit report. And unpaid medical debt will not appear on your credit report for a year from the date of the original delinquency. This actually gives you time to work with your insurance or healthcare providers to address the debt before it is reported on your credit file. And medical collection debt under $500 does not appear on credit report. And some states have additional laws regarding medical debt. So you're kind of protected there, okay? And so the thing is that it is possible that you missed a notice or a call from a creditor. Medical bills and utilities are two common examples. So one medical procedure can result in multiple bills from different providers. And if you miss one bill, then they fall into collection, even if you paid off the other bills related to your treatment. So that's really important to understand. You gotta look at the multiplicity of procedures. And if you recently moved, your previously, let's say your previous utility companies may not have your current address, so you may fall into collections if you don't receive and pay a final bill. So that's really something to be aware of. Very important. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about TransUnion inquiry removal. Another category that I want to share with you is student loans. I mean, student loans really can have a detrimental effect on your credit report. And so if you have student loans, you'll see them listed on your credit report. It's one of those things where each time your school provides financial aid, a new loan may be created. New loans are created on your report when you refinance or consolidate. And paying off student loans is a huge achievement. Your credit score may dip, but you can usually overcome it quickly. Okay. And so the thing is that if a student loan is inaccurate on your TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian credit report, you want to take time to review any information you have or letters from your loan provider. And new loans may appear in your credit report each time your school provides financial aid. So that's important to understand, because this really depends on how funds are dispersed, and it may happen each semester. So if you're still in school, you can talk to a financial aid officer if you have questions. If you have reviewed everything and still think something is inaccurate on your credit report, submit a dispute online with TransUnion. So TransUnion will go through its protocol, and they'll get back to you if they see anything that can be fixed. If you paid off a balance and the account is still showing on your credit report, just think about timing. Okay, some lenders send updates more frequently than others, and so your credit score may basically dip after you paid off your student loan, because the thing is that paying off a loan reduces the amount of active credit you have on file. Typically, a mix of active credit accounts is seen as something favorable. So when a student loan falls off your credit report, you lose that information, which can temporarily lower your credit score. So it's really cool in terms of helping you, but don't worry about the temporary dip. Okay. Talk to you about it. Let me give you a few pro tips. So what do you do if you don't recognize an inquiry on your TransUnion credit report? The thing is that just contact the lender directly. I mean, contact the lender directly. The contact information will be in your report. Ask the lender to confirm the account information and inquiry. That's important. Do not leave this to chance. If the lender cannot confirm the account, or if the inquiry was made in error, you want to ask them to send you a letter directly, and also to each credit reporting agency that shows the inquiry, so that they can remove it from your credit report. Especially TransUnion is really fast. So if they send a message to a TransUnion, they'll get things done within 24 hours. So that's the first thing. So you want to contact the lender directly. And if you find out the inquiry was made fraudulently, you want to contact the FTC, contact the authorities. So report the identity theft to the FTC. The FTC also provides a personal recovery plan, so that's really cool in terms of flexibility. And you also want to send a letter to each credit reporting agency requesting removal of the fraudulent activity, okay, and also the fraudulent inquiry. And so you got to include a copy of your FTC identity theft report with your letter. And if you're requesting deletion of an inquiry from TransUnion credit report, you want to send your letter to the address below. So it's important we're going to show this on the screen here. So the address is actually TransUnion PO Box 2000, Chester, PA. So that's Pennsylvania 19016. So fantastic. Another thing you want to do here is to add a fraud alert to your credit report, because the whole thing is you're trying to really protect yourself, right? So a fraud alert will not prevent you from applying for new credit, but what it will do is that it will actually help you in terms of flexibility. Let me break it down for you. So it would alert creditors accessing your report to take extra steps to verify your identity, and fraud alerts are free and they do not impact your credit score. So it's one of those things, like they're not going to lower your credit score. And so a fraud alert is kind of cool. You could also consider placing a credit freeze on your TransUnion credit report. So a credit freeze will help prevent new accounts from being opened in your name, which is really something that you don't want anyway. And placing a credit freeze is kind of free and doesn't affect your credit score. So that's really important for you to be in a situation where you're constantly explore your credit report, okay? So to sort of see if there are some fraudulent transaction on your account. So we are speaking about personal information, for instance, making sure it's accurate. So personal information, you want to make sure that your name's reported, date of birth, social, the address is reported, phone number is reported. So that's really important in terms of giving the whole 9 yards, okay? And so that's really important. So when you actually explore your credit report, you're not just exploring just to look at the numbers. You're just looking at also the supporting documentation to make sure all the data is accurate, because anything wrong will have an effect on your credit profile and credit score, not only with TransUnion, but also with Equifax and Experian. So it's one of those things where you have to be very careful. You want to make sure that you take measures as soon as possible. That will be really good for you. And again, when we talk about TransUnion inquiry removal, remember that you do not want to have state authorities have an inquiry on your credit report, right? Whether it is the IRS or state tax authorities, you want to be current on all your obligations, so that you can prevent some kind of inquiry from authorities, because that is really bad and it takes so much time to remove. So you never want to have that. So pay your taxes, and you want to also contact the IRS if there's any problem, so you can have an installment plan before they actually place an inquiry on your TransUnion credit report, on your Equifax credit report, and also your Experian credit report. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Let's quickly do a recap of today's conversation. So I was just talking to you about TransUnion inquiry removal. So I'll give you the overview, the approach, the pro tips, and now the recap. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.